Chapter Anastasia's Grandfather.
I looked from side to side. Anastasia's grandfather was standing almost next to a shop, pushing a piece of paper someone had dropped on the lawn toward the trash bin with his stick. I leapt up. He and I shook hands. His eyes were cheerful and good, and he was easy to be with. Not like her great-grandfather. When I saw her great-grandfather in the Tiger, he was silent the entire time, and his eyes looked into space as if he were looking through you. Her grandfather and I sat down on a bench, and I asked him, "How did you get here and find me?"
It's not so difficult with Anastasia's help.
My goodness, she gave birth. She said she was going to, and she did, alone in the Tiger, not a hospital. It must have hurt, right? Did she cry out?
Why do you think it should have hurt?
Well, when women give birth, it hurts. Some even die in labor.
It only hurts when the person is conceived in sin as a result of carnal pleasures. The woman pays for this with labor pains and the torments of life thereafter. If the conception came about with other aspirations, the pain merely intensifies the birthing woman's sensation of the great joy of creation.
What happens to the pain? How can it intensify joy?
When a woman is raped, what does she experience? Pain, of course, and revulsion. But when she gives herself freely, the same pain shifts into other sensations. It's the same kind of difference in labor.
You mean Anastasia gave birth without pain?
Naturally without pain. And she chose an appropriate day, warm and sunny.
How did she choose? After all, women give birth unexpectedly.
Unexpectedly, when they conceive inadvertently. The mother can always delay or speed up the baby's appearance by a few days.
Didn't you know when she was supposed to give birth? Didn't you try to help her?
We sensed it that day. It was a beautiful day. We went to her glade. At the edge of the glade we saw the bear. The bear was roaring in insult, roaring and pawing the earth as hard as it could. Anastasia lay on the same spot where her mother had given birth to her, and the little bundle was alive on her breast. The wolf cub was licking him.
But why was the bear roaring? What was it angry about?
Anastasia had called for the wolf cub, not the bear.
It could have approached itself.
They never approach without being asked. Imagine the pandemonium there would be if they approached without being asked whenever they wanted.
I wonder how she's doing with the child now.
You could go and take a look if you're wondering.
She said I shouldn't be around him until I cleanse myself of something here. First I must travel to holy places, but I don't have the money.
What do you care what that illogical woman said? You're the father. You should act as you see fit. You could buy him all kinds of rompers and diapers, little jackets and rattles, and you could demand she dress the child normally and not torment him. Otherwise, he's completely naked in the forest.
I wanted to see my son as soon as I heard about him. That's what I'll do. You hit the nail on the head about her being illogical. That must be why I have these incomprehensible feelings for her. First amazement, now respect. But still, there's something else I don't understand. But it's not like love for a woman. I remember what it felt like before when I would fall in love with a woman. Now it's something else. It's probably impossible to love her in an ordinary way. Something interferes. Maybe it's her being illogical that interferes.
Anastasia is illogical, Vladimir, not stupid. Her apparent illogic derives from forgotten spiritual laws from the depths of the universe and may also create new ones. The forces of light and darkness fade away sometimes because she seems to stand outside the bounds of logic, but later the simple truth of being known to all suddenly flares up more brightly. We can't always understand our Anastasia either, even though she is our granddaughter. She grew up before our eyes. But since we don't always understand, we can't help in any substantial way. Because of that, she's often alone in her aspirations, completely alone. She met you and opened up to you and others completely through the book. We wanted to prevent that. We wanted to prevent her love. Her choice seemed incomprehensible and absurd.
Even now I don't understand her choice. Readers ask questions too. Who are you? Why did Anastasia choose you? I can't answer. I realized that it would be more appropriate for her to have a scientist or a religious man by her side. He would be able to understand and love her. Together they would bring about much more good while I have to change my life and sort out many issues that have long been clear and understandable to others more enlightened.
Do you regret that your life has changed?
I don't know. I'm still trying to make sense of it all. As to why she chose me, I just can't say. I've searched for an answer, but haven't found one.
How have you searched for the answer?
I've been trying inwardly to figure out who I am.
You may be outstanding in some way, am I right?
I think there may be something. They say, like attracts, like...
Vladimir, did Anastasia talk to you about pride and egotism? Did she talk about the consequences of that sin?
Yes, she said it was a mortal sin that led man away from the truth.
She didn't choose you, Vladimir. She picked you up. She picked you up as something no one needed, and that had had its day. We didn't figure this out right away either. Are you hurt?
I don't quite agree with you. I had a family, a wife and daughter, and my business affairs were going fairly well. I might not be outstanding, but I'm not so bad that I had to be picked up like a bum or someone unneeded and abandoned.
Lately, there had been no love between you and your wife. You had your own life and interests, and she had hers. Only daily life kept you together, or rather the inertia of past feelings that had faded more and more with time. You and your daughter had nothing to talk about. Your business did not interest her. Only to you did it seem important. It brought in material income. Today, income, tomorrow, nothing or a loss, ruin. And you were ill. You had nearly destroyed your stomach. With your dissolute way of life, you would never have scrambled out of your illness. It was all over. There was nothing left.
What's it to you? What does she need me for? An experiment? Had she done some kind of calculation?
She simply came to love you, Vladimir, sincerely as she does everything. And she's happy she did not take anyone from your world who is capable of bringing joy to another woman. She did not put herself in a privileged position. She is glad to be like all women.
You mean this is her whim? She wants to be like all women? I smoked, I ran around. Just think. What self-sacrifice for a whim?
Her love is sincere, without whim or calculation. At first her acts appeared illogical to the forces of light and darkness, to us and others, but in reality she shed a bright light on the concept and meaning of love, not with words, teachings, or moral admonitions, but by the real accomplishments in your life. The forces of light and the Creator speak through her love. They don't just talk, they demonstrate it in waking life in a way no one ever has before. See what the power of woman, the power of pure love is like. In the moment before death, she can give new life. She can lift up her beloved, tear him from the tenacious paws of darkness and carry him into the infinity of light. She can surround him with the dimension of love and give him a second life, eternal life. Vladimir, her love will restore your wife's love and your daughter's respect. Thousands of women will gaze at you ardently. You will have complete freedom of choice. And if, out of all the diversity of the outward manifestation of love, you are able to see and understand this one, she will be happy. In any event, you will be famous and rich, and nothing will be able to ruin you. The book you wrote will fly over the world and not only make you money, but give you and others strength greater than material or physical strength.
The book truly is beginning to sell well, but I wrote it myself, though some people say that Anastasia helped too in some way. What do you think? Is this my book alone, or did I write it with her participation?
You went through all the motions of a writer. You chose the paper and ran a pen over it, describing what had happened. You set forth a few of your own conclusions in language characteristic of you alone. You arranged for the book's publication. Your actions in no way differed from a writer's usual actions.
You mean the book is mine alone? Anastasia did none of it?
No, she didn't. She didn't run the pen over the paper.
You talk as if she nonetheless did help in some way. If that's the case, say so more clearly. What did she do?
Anastasia gave up her life so you could write this book, Vladimir.
There you see, this is all completely incomprehensible. Why? How could she, while living in the forest, give up her life for some book? Who is she? She says, human being. Others call her an extraterrestrial, a goddess. You can get totally mixed up. I wish I could reach some sort of clarity for myself.
It's all very simple, Vladimir. Man is the only creature in the universe who lives on all levels of existence at once. Most people in their earthly essence see only the earthly materialized manifestation. There are those who sense other invisible essences as well. The people who call Anastasia goddess do not sin before the truth. The main difference between man and everything else that exists is that man has been given the ability to create the present and future with his thoughts by creating shapes and images that subsequently materialize. The future depends on vividness and harmoniousness, how swift the man-creator's thought is, and how pure his intentions. In this sense, Anastasia is a goddess, for the speed of her thought and the images she shapes are so vivid and pure that she alone has proved capable of countering the entire dark mass of opposites alone. However, we have no idea how long she's going to be able to withstand this. She keeps waiting and believing that people will grasp this and help her, that they will stop producing darkness and hell.
Who is producing darkness in hell?
The soothsayers who believe in talk about disaster and the end of the world, are they themselves producing thoughts and shapes of the end of the world? Many predictions of the universal demise of humanity indeed bring it closer by their thoughts and shapings. There are a great many of them. As they search for salvation and the promised land themselves, they never suspect that hell has been prepared specifically for them.
But those people who talk about and believe in Judgment Day and disaster, don't they sincerely pray for the salvation of their souls?
This is belief not in light and love, which God is and moves by, but in fear. Furthermore, they are readying this fearful thing for themselves. Think about it, Vladimir. Try to imagine. Here you and I are sitting on this bench. You see lots of people in front of you. All of a sudden, some double up with painful seizures. Supposedly, they are sinners. Around us on the ground are many decomposing bodies, but you and I are sitting here untouched, observing. Our bench seems to be in heaven. But won't your soul explode from the horrible picture before you? Isn't it better to die, to fall asleep the moment before that insight? But what if all the saved righteous men are taken to the promised land, which is free of decomposing bodies and horrific scenes? When news arrives from the far end of the earth about the death of someone dear to you, don't you feel sadness and grief in your soul?
Probably anyone would get upset.
Then how can you conceive of a heaven for yourself when you know that most of your fellow countrymen, friends and relatives have already perished and others are dying in terrible suffering? To what degree does a soul have to harden? What abyss of gloom does it have to plunge into in order to rejoice while being aware of what is happening? Souls like that aren't needed in the kingdom of light, for it is they who create darkness.
Then why do humanity's great teachers, who have written all kinds of teachings, talk about the end of the world and Judgment Day? Who are they then? Where are they leading people? Why did they speak this way?
It's hard to tell what they intend. Perhaps, having assembled crowds around them themselves, they will produce a turnaround in consciousness due to the attractiveness of their ideas.
People can produce a turnaround now. Yet those who came before, did they leave behind their teachings?
They, too, could have prepared a shift in thinking in hopes that their followers would carry it out and reveal the truth. They may be waiting for events to teach the majority the dead end their path leads to, and events may help them turn those who come with and believe in them towards the light.
If you knew all this, why did you keep silent in the forest for so many years? Why didn't you try to explain this to someone before? Anastasia said your clan has led this unique way of life for millennia, preserving the truth of the primary sources from generation to generation.
In the different corners of the world, there are people who have preserved a non-technocratic way of life, preserving the abilities inherent in man alone. At various times they have tried to share their awareness, but they have always perished before they could say the essential thing. They produce powerful shapes and images, but too many oppose them.
You mean they would trample and destroy Anastasia too?
In some incomprehensible way, Anastasia has been able to oppose them, at least so far. Perhaps due to her being illogical or...
The old man fell silent, running his stick pensively over the ground, drawing incomprehensible symbols. I thought a while and then asked him, "Why does she keep repeating to me, 'I am a human being, a woman, if she is a goddess,' as you say?"
In her earthly materialized life, she's simply a person, simply a woman. Although her way of life is something unusual, she, like all people, can be full of joy and sorrow, can love and want to be loved. All she possesses is inherent in man, and man in his original form. Her abilities that struck you as so strange do not seem so fantastic now that you have learned what your science says about them. Scientists will find explanations for many more of her currently incomprehensible abilities. They will all be trying to prove that she is simply a human being, simply a woman. There is one phenomena you cannot understand merely by encountering it, although this awaits you. Science will not be able to explain it. My father doesn't even know what it is. We call something like this an anomaly. But I beg you, Vladimir, don't identify this phenomena with Anastasia. It can occur alongside her, but not in her. Try to find the strength inside yourself to see and feel the human being in her. She's trying to be like everyone else. For some reason, she feels it is important and necessary to prove she is a human being. This is hard for her, because in doing this she cannot violate her principles. But doesn't each person have principles of his own?
What is this phenomenon you haven't defined in science cannot make sense of?
End of chapter. Join us for the next segment of Ringing Cedars of Russia, Book 2 of the Ringing Cedars series, An Anomalous Phenomenon.